Right, so on to the final topic of the night. We have the Thursday night football game, Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. Just a reminder to all the fans, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Keep the positive vibes. Any questions or any ideas, thoughts on our episodes, feel free to send us the DM with your feedback. So with that being said, Spence, what's your take on this game, and who do you got winning?
All right. Like I told you, Vick, and I'm probably gonna tell you the Bills and Cards and the Rams and Seahawks. Those games are going to be the final decision of what that night game is going to be. For me, Spencer Reese is picking the Arizona Cardinals. They just look like they just look better. They just look better. They just look ready. Of course, Russell's gonna try to get his, of course, but once again, it's not. I'm not blaming on Russell on this one. I mean, sure, there were some throws that he made that should have been questionable. Like, man, you should have maybe made a smarter decision. But I'm trying to tell you, his MVP year is in the hands of his defense, and his defense is going to sell him from his MVP. I'm picking the Cardinals, man.
All right, Trey.
I think I tried to come in here and defend Russell and say
I
he's gonna
know.
bounce back after that showing against the
I
Bills.
know.
I wanted him to, and then when you factor in the way look at the way the Bills played, the Cardinals played against the Bills and the Seahawks played against the Bills. Got to factor that in.
Right. Right.
So it's just like, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I love Russ, but
I do.
I'm again, like I did with the Vikings. I'm right with the hot team, the Cardinals. They're rolling right now, and yeah, Kyler Murray looks like he has ascended and taken place of Russell Wilson in regards to the MVP race. Looks like he's about to ascend and take first place in the NFC West as well. I'm going with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. D Hop. I mean,
He out there somewhere.
yeah, exactly. Um, Division game. I can't even say it's going to be close because the way the Cardinals offense has been moving and the lack of secondary help in Seattle. Yeah, I just can't. Russell would have to pull pull out something crazy out of his hat, like to I think be able to win this one. Just like you said, it's a defense, man. I'm done. I don't. They.
It's a defense, and you know what the sad part is. And you know the sad part is it's not even the front, like the front line,
yeah,
like
again, like
linebackers, linemen.
they can stop the run. You can stop the run for the most part. It's
It's
the
that secondary.
It's horrible.
When that ball's in the air, nobody's there.
Hey, and look, trust me, I know about these woes. Pittsburgh, the last, well, besides last year, I'll say the last 5 years, the defense just started coming along to where we're at now, more or less. The secondary was always our Achilles heel.
That was before y'all got Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Minka
Yeah.
made a big difference in that, but I feel what Seattle is going through and the fact that our front seven was always good, but if they're not getting pressure,
the ball's in the air, nobody's there.
It's done. It's done. So I get what they're going through over there. Hopefully they can correct it. But yeah, as far as this season, like I said, playoff time, even if they did find a way to win the division, I can see a wild card team walking into Seattle and definitely getting a win just because of the lack of
the secondary.
Secondary is it's horrible. Kyler should have a monster game, especially you got Kirk and Isabella. Oh man, Yeah, it's a no brainer for me. I'm taking the Cardinals this one. Sorry,
All right.
Well,
Lone Wolf.
Oh, wait. Before that, let's give it up. Let's give it up for Mr. Thursday Night right now. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. It's the
man.
Thursday Night. Let's give it up.
Oh man. I really tried, just like Trey, I really tried to find a reason
Something.
as to why I should pick the Seahawks. I definitely didn't want it to be a sweep, season sweep, which, for those that don't remember, the Cardinals should have won that game even before it got to overtime. But they had some hiccups, and that missed kick at the end that resulted into them going into overtime.
And Gonzalez.
Even though the Cardinals still got the win in overtime, it's just through that game. And I know they didn't have Jamal Adams and it didn't have Carlos Dunlap, which they got through VIA trade. But again, as y'all alluded to, the run game, the run defense is not the problem with the Seattle Seahawks. It's obviously the pass rush, but more so the defensive backfield. The Seahawks may be without Shaquille Griffin. He had a concussion, and this is a short week. He also had a hamstring injury. So
Oh, so you're
that's
saying it's going to get even worse?
and
Man.
they also don't have their other cornerback, their other starting two cornerbacks to say. So Shaquille Griffin is most likely going to miss the game, but there's a possibility that he may be able to play. But it just all depends on if he passes the concussion protocol, which from what I heard from the head coach for the Seahawks, I forgot his name.
Pete Carroll.
Be careful.
He said that he passed the all five phases of the concussion protocol, so he's cleared with that. But it's just the biggest thing right now is his hamstring. Um, Dunbar, the other corner, he is questionable, but he is trending in the wrong direction towards playing. So sounds like they're going to miss both their top corners. They do have Jamal Adams and Carlos Dunlap, but again, this Cardinals team is different from the Cardinals team that played in that, I believe it was a week 3 matchup. Week 3 or week 4, maybe it's probably later than that, but the first matchup that they had, they just had D Hop. Christian Kirk was still, finding his way. Andy Isabella definitely was nowhere to be seen. Um, and it seems like they're just in rhythm. Defensively, they're playing solid. They're not playing bad. Obviously, Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, they're doing their thing out there, especially Buda Baker. So again, I got the Cards winning this one. Again, I tried so hard to find a reason, but Seahawks, I'm sorry. The Cardinals should win this game as long as the Cardinals don't self-destruct like my Ravens did, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because
He finally accepted.
Seattle is like they're one of the constants in the NFC if you think about it. Like you know how the AFC for years has been pretty consistent. New England, Pittsburgh,
Right.
Baltimore.
Right.
For the longest, it was the Colts back with Peyton Manning and even somewhat with Andrew Luck. In recent, you got now I guess it's Kansas City. You can say in the AFC. Pittsburgh, we're still always in the mix of things. Baltimore, New England this year, not so much now, but I mean Brady's gone, so it's a little different. But in the NFC, in most division, it always kind of switches. You never know where the NFC least like that. There's not really a constant. I can say the NFC South. For the longest, it was always a new division leader. I know Carolina did have like a 2 to 3 year run where they kind of dominated the division, I guess. A lot of people, I guess you could say the Saints, but they don't even always win the division necessarily. So
It's usually B.
It's definitely a seesaw like type of deal. Like, I think it was before 2015. Like probably 2012 to 2015, it was the Panthers. After that, like after 2015, it was more so consistent with the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, it was like actually it was back and forth with the Saints and Falcons.
Yeah.
And before that, it was a toss up between the Panthers and the Saints. But yeah, it's definitely a seesaw like kind of effect. And like you're getting ready to talk about the whole NFC West, it's always tight, even if they're bad, because there was one point where they weren't as bad as the NFC least, but they definitely had some under 500 teams or close to at 500, but yeah, under 500 teams that went to the playoffs.
I think the Rams did.
I think I'm pretty sure it was the Rams, and I know
because that was when Gurley was hurt.
Yeah.
Woods was hurt, and then all I had was Cook and Cooper, and Higbee just got injured that night.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was
what's
the Rams.
crazy though is if you think about it, in the last 10 years, last 10 years, the Cardinals have went to the Super Bowl, Seattle's went to the Super Bowl, the Rams have went to the Super Bowl, and the 49ers have went to the Super Bowl.
All right. All that division.
Seahawks 1-1.
Well, no, I'm not even saying that they. I'm not saying they won. I'm just saying that the fact that whole division has went to the Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
The last 4 years, yeah.
Only one of them have won.
Well, yeah, which is Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the NFC South, nobody has won in this decade. In this decade for the NFC South. The last one to win was I think it was the 2009 New Orleans Saints, and then before that was the Bucks in 2002.
Yeah, but even them, the Panthers went, and the Falcons went, but they didn't win.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty competent divisions.
Yeah, but yeah, just more so what I was saying, it's crazy to see Seattle like this because they're one of the constants, I can say, since Russell Wilson's been there at least. Probably before that, but I'll say at least since Russell Wilson was drafted.
No, yeah.
They're a playoff team just about every year.
Yep.
Green Bay, more or less, same thing, except for the year Aaron Rodgers got injured. They missed the playoffs. But
yeah.
Outside of that, though, the NFC is like it's not a constant. I can't in the AFC I can look at typically before the season, I can tell you the majority of teams like this team's going to playoffs, this team's going to playoffs, this team. In the NFC, not so much. Like think about San Fran last year. The year before, they were horrible. And then all of a sudden they're the best team in the league, just about. So the NFC is wild how it switches up, how it does. The AFC is a lot more consistent and you pretty much know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and
pretty much.
That year before that you were referring to with the 49ers, I thought they were a pretty good team. They just unfortunately had a lot of injuries that year that
they're having now.
that they're having now. And then the following year, which I had them as one of my teams that I thought was going to be a sleeper that could potentially make the playoffs. Obviously, they drafted Nick Bosa, and he pretty much evolved that defense, which they don't have him this year. So, I mean, they're playing good ball. It's not the same. But yeah. Injury bug.
Big difference.
But with that being said, anybody have anything to say?
No.
I mean, I hope it's a closer. I don't want to see the Cardinals blow them out. I hope it's a good thing. I hope it's a good game, good Thursday night game. We already had a blowout last Thursday with the Colts, which kind of surprised me because I picked the Titans, and Yeah, now they're in obscurity outside of the top 10, outside the playoffs right now, trying to figure themselves out. Uh, I think teams are figuring out, though, if you limit Derrick Henry and force Tannehill to beat you through the air, that's the success to beat the Titans
Yeah.
because they haven't looked as good the past couple since ever since that Cincinnati loss. It's like,
I think it's
well, I think it started. I think it started when we beat them. Honestly, they've been
true,
like on the skid since they lost to us. To be real,
true, but
they've
according
trended
to
down.
true, according to my roommate, he's a massive one. He's saying according to that, it's the defense really. Um, Desmond King is cool, but he's slow. Which is very true. He's great, but he's more of a zone corner. He's not a man to one. He will get burnt. The line, I mean, it's hard.
Well, yeah, Clowney. I mean,
Not really.
He's still playing hurt though. So
Yeah.
that's what we talked about a couple weeks ago. Should he have just opted out and just
And you already know my take on it.
call it a season. Go ahead and get the surgery. You're still trying to play through injuries and you're not producing. So now you have people he's already had the stigma coming from the Texans that he didn't live up to his
hype.
Yeah. Right. So now you just playing like this, and I still don't think he has a sack on the season if I'm correct.
No,
so
nope.
It's just like, just go get the surgery.
Just do it. Just do it, and just do it.
Come back better next year.
Yeah. But with that, Vick Beasley came for the Falcons, not really doing anything. It's just that I believe it's the defense more than the offense. Because don't get wrong, Tannehill can beat you in the air. He has done that before.
No, I'm not saying he can't. He
but
can't.
But I get what you're saying. If you slow down the running game,
that's not their game plan though. Their game plan is they're gonna ride Derrick Henry.
Right. So I mean I get what you're saying. To control it, to minimize it, and switch it to a game plan that only has to do it. Yeah. Definitely.
I would rather have Tannehill throwing 40 times than having to keep seeing Derrick Henry.
Right. I understand and I agree. But I think for the Titans, it was defense mostly. But I get what you're saying though. So hopefully, man, this Thursday, man.
You had anything to say about that, Vick?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot more pressure on Jadeveon Clowney next offseason. Because, as we all know,
of course.
he wanted to.
He wanted more money than what he got.
Yeah, he wanted more money than what he got, but he also wanted to sign his contract after training camp. He didn't want to participate in any training camp, any of those activities normally deal with during the off season. So if he's wanting to be back onto a team, he's definitely going to need to be on a team before training camps, any of that stuff happens.
So was this just a 1 year with Tennessee?
1 year, 1 year deal. I'm pretty sure it wasn't no optional 2 year. But the fact that he's had nonstop injury issues, and that was already an issue prior to him getting signed by any NFL team.
Yeah, that's why he sat that's why it took so long for somebody to even sign him.
And I feel like it could have been beneficial to him to be in the weight room. I mean, sure, he probably was still working out, but being looked at by training staff and just getting the proper treatment and exercise that's needed to help strengthen his knees or his help any ailments that he has in his body. But other than that, the Titans don't look the same as y'all were referring to, especially pass defense. I feel like that's definitely limit their potential because last year we knew the Titans for playing defense and running the ball. They're only able to run the ball, not much defense. So pass defense is a little suspect, but run defense, I'd say that's probably the more so a little bit stable on their part. But yep, that's all I got to say about that. I'll just quick shout out to what's it called Kyler Murray, and again to Tua Tagovailoa for living up to my I guess what was it prediction of him having one less interception than Herbert. I did come up short. I did forgot to mention that I did say that Buda Baker was going to end the game with a interception on Josh Allen. Still dramatic fashion though, the way that they ended it, but not the way I expected. But still, good game overall.
I don't think anybody would have expected that catch.
Yeah, nobody.
I don't think we're gonna knock you off for that one. I don't think nobody expected that catch.
But the only thing I gotta say is before we end this here, so you did just shout out Tua. I just want to take a little quick preview into, like we said, we talked about earlier, the next 3 weeks. You got Denver, you got the Jets, and you got Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Things are looking up, and it's just crazy to say in 2020, the Miami Dolphins right now are 6-3.
And to add to that, with the Broncos, Drew Lock, it's not looking very promising
Ribs, right?
to play this week. We forgot to mention that, but so that's going to be
that's the one I forgot.
To the Dolphins. So it's definitely making that 3-game stretch definitely winnable. But of course, they got to prepare and show up and play. So
yeah, like I think I don't know who I was talking to earlier. There's no bad team in the NFL. They all get paid. They're all professionals. So if you go in there and you sleep, look at the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Packers.
Almost made upset.
What do they have? What do they have to play for? You would think, but no, they have stuff to prove. Especially being in the situation that they are in. It's kind of like you're playing for your spot next year in a sense, like because you're going to see if you're going to retain certain players potentially or let certain players go potentially when things are going to play. Even though they got rid of mostly, they pretty much cleaned house. That's why Jacksonville looks the way it does now. They don't even look like a team that was in the AFC Championship 3 years ago. Like you wouldn't tell looking at the roster now. Like they cleaned house. There's like nobody left from that team. Pretty much.
They lost by 4 points to the Packers, which
right.
I don't think anybody didn't have that close of a game.
Yeah, I definitely would have lost that betting with Vegas if I would have picked the spread. No, I would not have got that. So that is for sure. But all right, boys, you know how this goes here. So look, you don't have to agree. You can disagree. But at the end of the day, all takes are valid. All right, boys.
Yes, sir.
All right.